Here we go. This is the game of the week. The Chargers and the Vikings. Let's go.
Okay, so Chargers and Vikings. Obviously, it's a must-win game for both teams, and it's kind of crazy. This is probably the earliest must-win game I've seen. It's only week 3, so in theory, it's obviously not a mathematically eliminated type must-win game. But if you start 0-3, first of all, 0-2, you're already behind the odds to make the playoffs. 0-3, you're screwed in terms of I think it's probably 7% of teams end up going on to make the playoffs. Something. It's just some wildly low percentage. So it's obviously a must-win game. And on both sides, so Minnesota, right, if they lose the game, right, so let's go on both sides here. If Minnesota loses the game, you have to seriously ask yourself, is it time to reboot this thing with a new quarterback? And so the reason I say that is because there's teams out there that would be willing to move off their quarterback or basically replace their bad quarterback with Kirk Cousins. For example, the New York Jets, right? They have too talented of a roster to watch Zach Wilson for the next, 14 games? You're going to pull your hair out. You can't go watch Zach Wilson for the next 16 games. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Right? And so you have to seriously ask yourself, if they're going to give me a first-round pick, should I move off Kirk Cousins, go to a young quarterback? I'll have 2 first-round picks. So you can get a young quarterback and go get him another receiver. Go get him a DB so he doesn't win shootouts, right? Go get him an edge rusher so you can get after the quarterback, right? You have to seriously ask yourself, is it time to reboot this thing with a new quarterback, right? And if they and I like Kirk, and I don't think Kirk's the problem, but after a while, kind of get stale in the room, kind of be like, hey, we need some athleticism, we need some juice, we need a young guy. Let's reboot, let's get draft capital, all this. So I think that's something to watch for if Minnesota loses. On the flip side, if Los Angeles loses, you have to fire the coach. Yeah, I mean, you have to, right?
Yeah, you do.
I mean, they're 0-4 in their last 4. So dating back to week 17 last year, then obviously or week 18, I guess, their 17th game. And then also the wild card game. And now the first 2 this year. So they're 0-4 in their last 4. They've blown, I think, 3 leads in those 4 games. Yes. We saw the Jacksonville game last year. That was bad. Uh-huh. To have such a dynamic offense and to have the highest paid defense in football and to be a defensive coach and for the defense to suck so bad, it's not how you lose. Or it's not you that you lose. It's how you lose.
Right.
If you're a defensive coach, you can't get beat on your side of the ball with the most expensive. You can't sit there and be like, well, I don't have the talent.
Because that's just simply not true.
You do. You have the most expensive defense in the league. You got Bosa, Mack, J.C. Jackson, good linebackers, right? You can get after the passer. You got guys in the back. Derwin James is a great safety. You have to be better.
I think it's just incredibly captivating for this to be the game of the week because either way it ends, there's going to be a season-altering, maybe franchise-altering decision that needs to be made on both sides here.
Okay, so that's kind of my pitch. So let me ask you, if you're Minnesota and you lose, and I say New York's giving you a 1st and a 5th for Kirk, you can take it? Week 3.
I don't know. I don't know if I would look at Kirk or look at Kevin O'Connell.
No, I wouldn't look at Kevin O'Connell. I think he's a good coach. No.
Okay, but he hasn't really won.
Not as Kirk.
I mean, yeah. Either way you look at it, there's a big change that needs to be made, whether it's Kirk or whether it's somewhere else on the team. If New York's offering a 1st, and what'd you say, a 5th?
Yeah, 1st to 5th.
Oh, man. I mean, that's good value for Kirk Cousins. You go and you can use that to maybe get a Caleb Williams or a Drake May in the next draft?
For a 1st and a 5th, I would go with a no, just because I think Kirk could actually probably garner 2 firsts, to be quite honest, and I don't think the Jets have the capital to give them 2 firsts. So if I'm Minnesota, I would move off Kirk, but I'm getting at least 2 firsts.
Okay,
dude, Kirk's he's a big time quarterback, man.
I mean, yes, yeah.
He's a big-time 100 passer rating guy.
He deserves a lot.
He's on pace for 51 touchdowns this year, people. And people think he's the problem. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying people view him as the problem, and Minnesota might want to reboot this thing.
I think the quicker team that would want to make a decision, though, is Los Angeles.
Okay, so if they lose, do you fire Brandon Staley?
Absolutely. I would have fired Brandon.
So we're on the same page.
I mean, I don't like him. He has taken so many uncalculated risks on 4th down. That was his big,
that was his thing last year.
That was his thing last year.
Yeah, last
early
year,
in the
before,
career.
yeah.
Both, actually. Yeah. And then now it's you can't win with this uber amount of talent that you have around you, and that's a concern. So Look, he's got to go. His seat has been warm and toasty for long enough. You lose this game, he's got to go.
I would, and especially if Minnesota runs up the score, if it's a 40-20, 20 game.
Yeah.
So okay, keys to win. Minnesota offense, you got to run the ball. You got to run the ball. So the one good thing about the LA defense is they can get after the passer. So if you drop Kirk back 50 times and those guys can pin their ears back, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Run the ball, establish the run, make play action plays off of that. Mm-hmm. For the Minnesota defense, I would say make LA dink and dunk. Don't let Herbert beat you over the top with his big arm.
No.
Make them go on 12, 13, 14 play drives. Dink, dunk, run the ball. Make them beat you on long drives. Eventually they'll get greedy, try to go down the field. That's when you can capitalize, maybe get a pick. So I would say make LA dink and dunk and run the ball if you're Minnesota. For the LA offense, I would say get Herbert easy looks early, right? Get him going in the first quarter. 7-8 completions in the first quarter.
Throws.
Quick outs, quick slants, screens, swing passes, things that are easy to get him in rhythm early, get him feeling it, because any game that he is on, you've got a chance to win. I would argue you have a greater than 50% chance to win. The LA defense, I would say let anyone other than Justin Jefferson beat you. If you walk out of here and you're Brandon Staley and your game plan is, hey, we're just going to play good team defense, we're going to play base defense, we're going to blitz Kirk every now and then, and you let Justin Jefferson go for 10 for 180 and 2 touchdowns, and you walk away with a loss, not only are you getting fired, you're getting trashed everywhere.
Yeah.
You are certainly getting fired if that happens.
And you won't even get a DC.
Because everybody knows. It's not like it's a secret that Justin Jefferson's out there. You have to let anybody other than Justin Jefferson beat you.
Yeah, I agree
Keys
with that.
to win.
I agree with all those. Good points. There's just this matchup I think is going to be pretty closer than a lot of people think.
Yeah.
I think too often people overlook the Vikings offense, and
No, Kirk can sling the rock, man.
He can. It's a good team matching up against another good team. It'll be very interesting. We both took LA. Or no,
Yeah.
you took Minnesota.
I took Minnesota.
Okay, yeah, that's one of our splits too, so it'll be good.
I like Minnesota.
I'll enjoy watching that one. I got LA. I just think they have a little more firepower.
I don't think they have any answers for Justin Jefferson. That's my problem. That's my thing. I don't think they have any answers. Not many people do.
It's very fair. All right, guys, that is all we have for you today.